has no positive value. My child has a name, my child has a memorial stone that has, thanks to the Omaha business professional for life, I have memorial square, I've been to 2 projects, Bible study, and giving and set free, and thanks to Jennifer O'Neill for her life after abortion. I no longer feel alone, and I am silent no more. And thank you so much, all of you, for being here.
Good afternoon, I'm Chuck. I stand here before you today with profound humility and great sadness, yet joy and peace. I thank God for His unimaginable mercy and forgiveness. It was in January of 1976, 34 years ago, I permitted the abortion of my son, whom we have named Ryan Paul. When I learned that my girlfriend, now wife, was pregnant, we were stunned. Things happened very quickly. I should have been responsible enough to know better. I should have been responsible enough to protect my unborn son and to protect the mother of my child from a horrible, misguided, irreversible choice. Today and every day, I ache with incredible pain over the most significant choice of my life, the one that I can never reverse. Today I would do anything, give up anything to have that choice back, to have had the courage to say no. Instead, I said nothing. Had there been anyone there, friends, parents, anyone to have offered a choice, an option, and some support, we may have listened and chosen life. Deep down inside, I knew the truth. This was our baby, not just cells. But no, I said nothing. I did nothing but accompany her to Planned Parenthood to destroy my child. During the procedure, I felt numb and helpless. For this monumental failure, I take full responsibility. From that moment on, there was a chilling silence about the abortion. It was not spoken of again by anyone for many, many years. My response to the pain was to block out my emotions with a hardness of heart. I also felt trapped into accepting the lie of choice, the supposed right to choose death over life. To believe otherwise would mean facing my own guilt. This young lady and I somehow endured, and God blessed us with marriage 5 years later. However, over the next 20 years or so, we have struggled through her bouts of depression, low self-esteem, and the buried guilt of her lost motherhood. The life that had been sucked away. The life that had been sucked away and forgotten by everyone else, but not her. I now understand and believe that a woman's love for her child is stamped in her heart by God.
That's right.
Her baby cannot be ripped away without devastating and permanent consequences. The wound is forever.
That's right.
The problem not solved. About 6 years ago, we found repentance and reconciliation through an amazing retreat program called Rachel's Vineyard. We learned that despite our horrible sin, that God still loved us, and He had forgiven us long ago. Finally, we were able to forgive ourselves and those who were involved. I know there are millions of men like me, in pain or living with a hardness of heart that they may not even recognize. I want to tell all men who have participated in an abortion or had their children aborted against their will to let your heart out of prison. Help and healing is available. The pain of my lost fatherhood remains with me every single day, but now through God's grace, I can be silent no more. I want and must help stop the madness. One by one, with healing and by speaking out, I believe we can. Thank you and God bless.
Help. My name is Cheryl Carey. It was a beautiful, bright Sunday, with very few clouds in the sky. The sun was shining and all appeared to be right in the world. Little did I know that my world was about to change in ways that I'd never dreamed possible. Pregnant? Can't be, not me. But I was, and I was petrified. So I did something that I never thought that I could. I did something that I never dreamed possible. I aborted my child. That was the day that I died as well. Everything that breathed life within me was no longer. I became a shell, an empty vessel clothed in shame and riddled with pain of guilt and remorse. I was told I needed $300 and possibly a ride home. I sat in death's waiting room waiting for my turn. Next, that's what I heard. Someone said to me, "You're next." I was off to the slaughter room. I was placed in a room and told to change my clothes, have a seat, and someone will be out to talk to you. What they meant was, someone will come in and take your money and thank me for allowing them for destroying my life. I had what they called a twilight procedure. I began to count backwards and then I was out, but only for a moment. I heard the sound of a machine, a suction machine, and I grabbed my stomach. The pain was so excruciating. I begged them, please stop. And then my hand was removed. And then I put my hand back on my stomach and I said, please stop. But then I realized that they didn't hear me. They must not have heard me what I said. Please stop. Then I thought to myself, where am I? What are they doing? Don't they know that I'm not pregnant? I can't be having an abortion. This is not real. This is not me. But little did I know that I was already in denial and even delusional. Returning to my family home was very difficult. You see, I come from a very large family. I'm 6 of 11. And most of my siblings are already married and have families of their own, but not me. I have no legacy. I have nothing. I cried all afternoon and even into the night, begging and pleading, God, please give me my baby back. I eventually returned home to Florida, leaving everything behind me of the most horrifying experience of my life. But where could I go? How could I escape my actions? I mean, I really couldn't. How could I run away from myself? But I felt I needed to be punished. Instead, I suffered 10 years in shame. I cried all the time. It took almost a breakdown for me to seek the help that I really needed. I returned to Florida to try and heal from my past. But had it not been for the grace of God and His love and His tender mercies, I am sure that I could not stand here today with my head lifted high looking you in the face. I sought recovery from my past abortion through Women in Rama, a Bible study by Linda Cochran. I learned how to breathe again and how to live again. But most importantly, I've received forgiveness through the love of Christ. And now I'm able to love and forgive those who have trespassed against me. Now, I help women who have been scarred by abortion through a ministry called The Pathway Home. And it is because of that I am silent no more.
This is going to be short, but not sweet. It was over 34 years ago I found out I was pregnant when I was in high school. My friends told me they knew of a place to go to take care of it. It would be like it never happened. It was supposed to give me the freedom to go to college. I became depressed, used drugs, alcohol, and barely attended class. I dropped out of college, had a baby, and got married. 3 years later, we were a family of 4. 6 months later, my husband told me he was having an affair, and I found myself very lonely, afraid, and pregnant again. This time, my family encouraged me to abort, noting that there was no way I could raise 3 children alone. I don't remember much of the procedures. I felt guilty and ashamed of what I had done. Feeling scared and alone, I reconciled with my husband, and I had my replacement baby, and then we divorced. I withdrew from my children and had great difficulty bonding with them. I buried the pain. As time went on, the Lord called me back into His loving arms. I found Rachel's Vineyard and truly began the labors of forgiving myself and renewing the relationships with my children and family. Because of this, I am silent no more.
I graduated from high school in May of 1973, just 4 months after abortion was legalized. The memory of my first wedding was blurred by getting high on the way to the courthouse. We had 2 little boys, very loved and treasured, we thought, but we never changed our substance-abusing lifestyle. When James was 2.5 and Chris was 13 months old, I became pregnant again. I had mixed feelings. I told my husband and he got angry. Many reasons. Mostly we're broke and we can't afford to have another kid. I was tired, scared, and overwhelmed. Everyone advised abortion. No one tried to talk me out of it. My husband took me to the Planned Parenthood clinic and he sat in the waiting room while I was prepped and drugged. I remember hearing a vacuum cleaner sound as I felt a very long and very painful cramp. I remember sobbing as I fell into a drug-induced sleep, and then I was awakened, got dressed, and my husband drove us home. I lied about it, rationalized it, and justified it for 26 years. I thought that the immediate so-called solution would override any possible future regrets. But the abortion that I chose to have not only killed my innocent baby, it damaged me physically, mentally, and spiritually. It was not a solution to my problem. Because of the physical damage done to my uterus from the suction curettage abortion, I had to have a hysterectomy 3 months later. My inner despair and resulting depression made it easier to use and abuse myself in many other ways for many years. February the 14th, 1999 is the day that I decided to change my life by giving up drugs and coming back to God. I have been clean and sober since. God. Through the miracle of the 12 steps and God, I became honest about the past, and the Priest for Life website helped me to see the truth that I had been denying. She was not a blob of tissue, a piece of my body that I could do without, and she was not a mistake. She was a little innocent human baby, nestled inside the very place where she should have been the safest. She was my little Ceci baby, and because she was an inconvenience, I allowed her to be killed. If abortion had not been legal, I would have made room for her in my life. The Lord continues to reveal His love and mercy to me, helping me feel the depth of His forgiveness and love, both sacramentally and through the healing ministry of Rachel's Vineyard. And because of my Rachel's Vineyard retreat, I have finally forgiven myself. But I've also come to realize that my own healing and sorrow are not enough anymore. It is important for my regret to be heard and acknowledged as the truth, and that's when I decided that I could be silent no more.